In 3 minutes, three points, if I may. On British Airways, I, like many members here today, represent a lot of BA employees who are nothing short of furious and upset and disappointed at how a crisis of no one's making became an industrial relations catastrophe. I've been contacted by constituents who are facing a loss of income, sometimes of up to 70%. I don't think it's fair to mention this issue without recognition that aviation, of course, has been decimated by the pandemic, and that's not of BA's making. But I would add my voice to colleagues who've rightly said this is no way to treat a workforce who've made you one of the most successful airlines in history and the flag carrier for the UK. Secondly, I wholeheartedly welcome the government's recent commitment to establishing a Jet Zero Council with the goal of making net zero carbon emissions a reality for all flights in the future. We published something to the Secretary of State in February of this year from the organisation Sustainable Aviation, which is a decarbonisation roadmap, a detailed plan to achieve that zero carbon by 2050 by investing in cleaner aircraft, engine technology and smarter flight operations and sustainable aviation fuels and high-quality carbon offsets. And obviously, post-COVID, all these actions remain absolutely essential if we're going to achieve that ambition. There are a number of things the Treasury could do to help, but I would suggest led by some £500 million of government funding, matched by industry, to support the delivery of the sustainable aviation fuel plants in the UK. That's partnership, that's jobs, that's building back greener, Mr Deputy Speaker.
Would my honourable friend give way?
Sure.
My honourable friend and constituency neighbour, talking about going greener, he will know that Southampton Airport, by our constituencies, needs to extend its runway in order to enable greener travel and stop constituents travelling to Gatwick and Heathrow. Will he encourage Eastleigh Council to get on and decide? And if not, it's time for the government to issue a special development order to extend that runway.
Well, yes, many of my constituents rely on Southampton Airport for their family income, and we have been decimated by the demise of Flybe, as my constituency neighbour knows, and I know that he's working so hard to get his local council to see some reality here on the ground and not just be blinded by their ideology. And it is connected to the Jet Zero point that I made for exactly the reason that he said. The runway extension that they need at Southampton International Airport was to extend the airport, to extend the runway. It's now actually to make the airport survive, full stop. But I would say this, as the neighbouring MP representing the southern parishes of my constituency within Winchester District, that we do want to see a noise preferred route, an NPR, which Southampton Airport is responsible for in its own airspace up to 5,000 metres. And that was left out the last time the airport was expanded and had its planning permission. And I do need them to understand that I will support you, but you need to support my constituents too. So, Mr Deputy Speaker, I think British Airways have got many, many questions to answer, and I would like to hear a little bit from the government today. I know that BA slots at Heathrow are not in the government's gift, but I look forward to the government's response in winding up the debate today. And Jet Zero is really something that this government can be proud of, and I look forward to seeing it develop in the months and years ahead, because they are not incompatible. Air travel and meeting our climate objectives and our climate commitments are not incompatible objectives, and we shouldn't fall into this silly trap of being an either or. And finally, Southampton Airport, I'll work with you, but you work with me. Thank you.